Mr. Ashok Sajjanhar, former diplomat. Mr. Sajjanhar, good morning and welcome to the show. Your
Thank you
initial
very much. Good morning
comments,
to you.
when the entire conversation of Trump 2.0 had started, you had clearly indicated that, that India and US will actually deepen their cooperation under Trump 2.0, and this would significantly boost trade and technology. Now that first, Trump has called India the tariff king. Now you're talking about reciprocal tariffs that will be probably coming into effect from the 1st of April. Your initial commentary on it?
Yeah, thank you very much. This is not the first time that Mr. Trump has called India the tariff king or the worst tariff abuser. He has been making these comments, he's been making these remarks even during his election campaign and even after he was elected. So, number one, this is not the first time that he has said that. The second is that, the reciprocal tariffs have been announced, but they are not in that sense country specific. This is the global approach that Trump administration has given, that reciprocal tariffs will be applied to those countries. And I think your colleague has very nicely, put out as to what are the tariffs in terms of the import tariffs that the US products have to face while coming in India, and vice versa when Indian products are exported to the US. My point there is that even if you were to go through this reciprocal tariffs, it's going to be a very tedious and a very difficult exercise, because how do the what India exports are not the same products that India imports. So, getting a congruence, getting a similarity of products which have different tariffs, that's going to be very difficult. And there's going to be, different tariff lines, different, HSN nomenclature, tariff nomenclature. So that is the technical part of it. On the conceptual part of it, I think both the countries have decided that by fall of this year, we are going to have, a trade deal. Earlier, as your viewers would know, that there was a mini trade deal that was being negotiated in Trump 1.0. And in the last days, it could not be concluded, and then we had COVID-19 pandemic. So right now, both the sides have indicated their commitment to have this deal in, by September, 7 or 8 months. So I think work is going to start on that. And, both the sides, it's also been decided that by 2030, we are going to take our trade from the current about $190 billion, which is in goods and services, to about $500 billion, which is more than twice the amount. So I think work is going to start on that. In my view, what Mr. Trump uses, tariffs, it is really as a negotiating instrument. Like he has said in his art of the deal, apply maximum pressure so that you are able to get maximum benefit out of your negotiating partner on the other side. So I think this has been used, this will be used as a negotiating leverage against India, number one. Number two, also to have a time-bound program for getting at least a mini trade deal. So I think we can see the movement in that direction.
Okay. Mr. Sajjanhar, so you've elucidated a lot of the points that we were going to talk to you about. So I'm glad that you're so clear and concise. But I have one specific question on something that you mentioned, which is the difficulty in having these reciprocal tariffs. Is the interpretation, or could the interpretation of that be that if it does come to pass, you may not have a dramatic change in the weighted tariff that is currently in play, simply because of the different goods and services, or goods in particular, that are exchanging hands?
No, absolutely. I agree with that. That there might not be any, products that are of interest to the United States. And, we can have, as we've already done in our budget, whether it is as far as the Harley Davidson is concerned, or luxury cars are concerned, or EV batteries are concerned, we have brought those down. So, in terms of the macro numbers, what you're showing, weighted average of 8.5, that might not come down in any significant way. But products, particularly, specifically of interest to the United States, we could have a look at that. And, taking into account that though they do not really impinge adversely on the sensitive labor-intensive sectors in our own country, or sectors like agriculture, which are very domestically politically sensitive, or the MSMEs. Those are things that we will safeguard. We will ensure that they do not face undue competition from outside.
Right.
Like in the past, I remember when I used to be in the Ministry of Commerce, we, as far as the Californian almonds are concerned, some of the other,
Right.
engineering items, we did provide relief to the US products.
Yes.
But we safeguard our core interests and concerns.
Absolutely. Mr. Sajjanhar, thanks so much for that insight, and absolutely amazing having you this morning. Thanks so much for joining in.
Thank you. Pleasure.